For our clay project this year, we are going to create a healthy plate of food out of clay. A healthy plate has 4 parts: protein, vegetables, grain, and fruit. Your clay plate should have those 4 parts, but it's up to you what delicious foods to use. Proteins are foods that give your body energy. You usually find protein in meat, like steak, chicken, pork, or seafood like crab, shrimp, and fish. But if you're a vegetarian, you can eat eggs and beans for protein as well. Vegetables are the edible parts of a plant. Lettuce, corn, carrots, onion, avocado, and broccoli are some examples. Grain is food made from wheat and rice, like bread and, rice. Fruit is the seeding part of the plant. Watermelon, oranges, apples, grapes, strawberries, and banana are all examples of fruit. Now that you know the 4 parts of a healthy plate that you'll need on your clay plate, it's time to choose which foods you will create to fill those parts. Whatever foods you decide to create, you need to know about the 3 ways to hand build with clay. The first way to hand build with clay is to use a slab, or a flat piece of clay. You won't use a flat piece of clay for everything you make, just certain parts. I like to use my fist to flatten the clay into a slab, and then I can cut it into the shape that I need. I just used a slab to create an egg, the protein of my plate, and a slice of toast, the grain on my plate. The second way to build with clay is to use a coil, or a long, skinny noodle of clay. I just use little coils to create the leaves and stem of my strawberries, which is the fruit of my plate. To make a coil, I take a piece of clay and I roll it in between my hands or on the table in order to build that noodle coil of clay. The third way to build with clay is to use pinching, using your hand muscles to pinch and squeeze the clay into a shape that you want. I used pinching to create the shape of the avocado, like this. And I used pinching to build the shape of the strawberries. One last important thing you need to know about building with clay is scratching and scoring. That's when you scratch the clay with a toothbrush to make it stick to another piece of clay. Just like how if you don't brush your teeth, they'll fall out, if you don't brush your clay, the pieces are all just gonna fall right apart. So I used scratching and scoring with the toothbrush a lot to create all of my food. I scratched and scored the egg yolk to make it stick to the flat slab of the egg. I used scratching and scoring to attach the butter to my toast, to attach the avocado pit to the avocado. And I even scratched and scored the leaves and stems onto the strawberries to make sure that they stick together. Before you get to building, I want you to know about the tools you'll have available to you in your toolbox. First of all, you should have your own popsicle stick in your clay toolbox. The popsicle stick is perfect for cutting the clay into the smaller pieces that you might need. There is also a pointy stick in your toolbox. The pointy stick is perfect for drawing on the clay and adding textures. I used it to add the grainy texture to the toast and to draw some seeds on my strawberries. As you can see, I have now completed all 4 parts of my plate. Eggs for protein, avocado for vegetables, toast for the grain, and strawberries for the fruit. I need to make sure that the 4 different parts of my plate are all stuck together. Not all the food stuck together, but I want my 2 eggs to stick together. I want my 2 slices of toast to stick together. I want my avocados to stick together and all my strawberries to stick together. That way, I won't have 10 different pieces of food to keep track of. I'll only have 4. So to do this, I scratched and scored all of my food with a toothbrush and stuck each part of my plate together. Again, this way, I only have 4 pieces to keep track of, rather than the 10 separate pieces of food that I made. Now that we've built the food, we need to wait for it to dry out completely and then fire it in the kiln. I cannot wait to see what delicious food you create out of clay today.